other non-political. There's another breaking news story that will bring joy. That will bring joy.
Really?
Yeah,
Uh-oh. My cat is
I'll.
throwing up behind. No, he's throwing up.
Awesome. Duke
Oh,
threw up
Jesus Christ.
this morning too.
Uh,
Which one?
oh, Francis. The
Francis.
hairball. Great.
God damn it, Francis. Lighten up, Francis.
Oh
Lighten
my
up.
God. This is what happens. This is fucked up. All right,
Yeah, well.
it's life
I mean, but
in
what
the
a
terrible
perfectly
studio.
symbolic for
I
this day, though.
know. No,
It is
I
one
bet you
great
that
big
was heard by
ball of
people.
cat puke.
It's
Do people
rather
if
loud.
people know that Francis is puking, I think we're all a little nauseated and can get with
Well,
Francis.
he was
Like
he was doing it
we're
like
all
right in
Francis
shot.
right now.
We are all
It's
friends. He was doing
beautiful.
right behind my
It's
shoulder. You
awesome.
could see it. That's why I had to get up and thank God I hadn't started the mute. I had to get up and get
Yeah,
rid of
but hopefully
it.
they heard it and they're like, same Francis.
Well,
Same,
they know Francis. They love Francis.
right? Well, the official mascots of the Tara show. At least Duke threw up before I got in the shower.
Well, that's
So,
good. All right. I
but
got
it's
you.
always on the carpet. It's always on the carpet, never
Right.
on the
So they
regular
think that's the
floor.
place to do it. All right.
It's really not, though. Oh my God, it's the Tara Show. Oh, so much shit is happening today. So much things are happening today. So delighted to start July. It's Dublin and Devlin today. Oh my God, that is the sound of breaking news. That's what it is. The sound of breaking news because our political system is completely broken. Friggin' Lisa Murkowski, yo. JD Vladimir Futon Vance and his stupid baby bubble face. All I want is for everybody to share the picture of JD Vance that made him so mad he got somebody deported for it or refused entry into the United States and sent back home or whatever. This is so screwed. This is not how you're supposed to start a new month. We're not supposed to start a new month like this. And then here's Lisa, and Lisa Murkowski said it was agonizing. It was agonizing to doom the American people to their deaths. I'm so delighted, Lisa Murkowski. I'm so glad you had a crisis of conscience before casting your yes vote, you bitch! You absolute evil bitch. And in fact, as my partner goes to tend to Francis, y'all, what the hell, right? And here, I called Lisa Murkowski's office and left her a voicemail. I tweeted Lisa Murkowski. I'm sure you all did your part in begging her. And she didn't get what she was promised, her provision. She didn't get her provision, her special snowflake Alaskan exception. She didn't get that. Senate parliamentarian didn't allow for it. And she still voted yes anyway, because Republicans are always the problem. They have always been the problem. They will continue to be the problem. And those of us who are paying attention and who actually care about the preservation of our democracy are not going to take this sitting down. We are going to rise up. I don't know if there are any protests planned for July 4th, but there should be. And what we all should be doing, those of us in blue states, and even if you're in red states and you're a blue dot, you need to be calling your Republican representatives. If you don't have Republican representatives, you need to call Republican representatives in the red states that neighbor your blue states, because you know as well as we do that blue states carry the red states, and then the red states complain about socialism because they don't understand how anything works. I'm so fucking furious. And by the way, at the same time, today I am getting a tooth pulled out of my head. So stuff like this is the stuff that's at risk. Your day-to-day existence, right? Things like getting a tooth pulled and having that covered by insurance. I don't have dental insurance because it's prohibitively expensive, and I just have your basic Obamacare. Thanks, Obama, which doesn't cover dental stuff. But if you're inclined to kick down a little scratch to help me pay for this tooth thing, which is a nightmare, that I'm terrified about just because dental stuff is hinky, I would appreciate that. That would be wonderful. That would be all part of fighting back against what MAGA is doing. MAGA hates that we are united, by the way, and they hate anything that's good. So when we support each other and we are united, they really hate that because they hate our democracy. The only thing that's uniting MAGA is their hatred of our democracy, as well as their hatred of anyone who's melanated and or female. So if you fall into any of those categories all at the same time, lucky you. As we are looking at this, we know that this bill is bullshit. As much as Democrats in the Senate fought, Democrats did everything that they could to change some of the provisions. Democrats filibustered by having the bill read. They did all that they could. So never say that Democrats do not fight for our democracy, because they absolutely do. And they
Oh,
were,
brother.
I know you're good. We're good. We got you. And all I was saying was how terrible Republicans are. That's
Well,
all. That's
now
all
that we're all caught up.
I Now that we're all caught up. But in particular, I was mentioning the tooth thing that's happening. I'm also going to have to peace out a little bit early
Uh-huh.
today. And Devlin will see you through till the end, with my full trust.
I'm
But
just no, I was just thinking maybe people just thought I was like I
what?
had enough. Good night.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm done.
and who could blame you? Who could blame you? Because what this means is that Republicans are fine with dooming us all to our deaths,
You're right.
because it'll make them richer. And that is the bottom line.
Yeah,
They don't care
they're just
as
so
long as they're rich.
right, and they have no. And this is the thing, the whole statement that a budget is a moral document. They have no morals. They are the
No.
greatest threat to. And I've read this before that by writers years ago that the Republican Party is the greatest threat to humanity on Earth. They really are, and
Fact. That is a
we're just
fact.
closer. We're just in the line of fire right here. But it affects the entire world what they are doing. The death, the fact that every time they get power, more people die, more people
More people die.
suffer. That's all they
We
give
get
a
into
shit
a war in the
about.
Middle East.
And
People lose jobs. People
yes,
lose things. They
it
lose
is
We
a
lose. We
by
lose
the
every time.
numbers. You could just space it out and do it by Republican and Democratic administration. The death rate goes up, death by despair, a needless death, suffering
That's
goes
right.
up. I mean, what?
That's
Because
right.
that is death by despair. People who they turn to drugs, alcohol, or suicide. Unaliving themselves because
Right.
of the stresses. And there's no. One time I heard Bernie talking about what it's like to be an American, and he was relating it to someone who doesn't live here. That there's so much stress that other countries, that people who live in other countries do not get. That the American people are just under an enormous amount of stress at all times because we are
Yeah.
hanging by. It's like the sword of Damocles constantly over our heads. If we fall on hard times, if we get a catastrophic illness diagnosis,
Right.
and we lose our jobs, or anything can happen.
That's
And
right.
that's life. And the
And it's going to
Republicans,
happen to their
yeah,
own voters.
right. But they don't.
So
It always does, though. This is the thing that I don't understand. That the Democrats have to message. Really, they have to start being unapologetic and take it right to these morons. No offense to morons who are legitimate morons. These are self-selected morons. Like
right.
they are choosing to follow this death cult over a cliff because they don't want trans kids to get gender affirming care that they have no
Right.
fucking
And
business
it's
about.
just,
You
or
know?
we or they're protecting Trump from the Epstein files being released,
Yeah.
which we
Yeah.
already
That they
is
oh
all
they
over.
are so
And,
protecting him from
and
yeah.
and any compromise the Russians might have on them, which is how we got here, right?
Mhm.
Because when we've talked about that, when the Russians hacked the DNC server, they hacked the RNC server and held on to what they learned
That's
about the
right.
Republicans to compromise them, and here we are. So what we're seeing, that so 3 Republicans voted against the big bullshit bill. Collins actually did it. She actually voted against it. So
Well, good
mark
for
your
her.
calendars that she actually
Right.
followed through. Rand Paul voted against it. It was Collins,
Well, we
Rand
knew he was gonna.
Paul,
Yeah.
and who was, oh my God, the third one just fell out of my head.
Let me look it
Collins,
up.
Rand Paul, and a third Republican voted against it. Shit.
I'll look it up.
But okay, yeah, it was. I had it, but I'm so distracted by. I'm like really
It's
nervous
so
about the tooth
funny
thing.
when I just Googled, not Googled, I'm using Perplexity, and I
Hmm.
just put in which Republicans, and it filled it out. Voted against the big beautiful bill. So a lot of people are
Yeah.
searching for it, I guess. So it's
Also,
yeah, it's
yeah,
Rand
and
Paul, Tom Tillis, and Susan
Tom
Collins.
Tillis, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, super brave Tom Tillis, who let everybody know that Joni Ernst bullied him into confirming Pete Hegseth. And then he decides, instead of staying and fighting, he's going to resign. He's not going to run for re-election. And then he stood up so bravely on the Senate floor, railing, "What am I going to tell
Uh huh.
663,000? Why don't you tell
You
them
tell
why
'em.
you let Joni
Yeah.
Ernst bully you into voting for Pete Hegseth?" So, don't think that Tom Tillis is any kind of a real hero here. I mean, he did the right thing by voting no on this bill, but that doesn't absolve him of what he did prior, doesn't clean his slate, no more than Thomas Massey's slate is clean by standing up against Trump, because he also tweets things that are in support of Trump at the same time. So the Republicans talking out of both sides of their mouths. But in the House, this bill only passed by one vote in the House and one vote in the Senate, which tells you how egregiously unpopular it is. And even Fox News put up the statistics that it's even unpopular from Trump's
Uh
supporters.
huh.
Even MAGA
Well, they
MAGA
know.
people,
Uh huh.
it's like 21% of them, or like it's a negative 21 point approval rating for the big bullshit bill from Trump's own base on Fox News. So every senator blaming the parliamentarian should look in
Yeah.
the mirror, you in fact of the majority.
But he
Chip
voted
Roy's a
for it.
traitor to
This
the
is,
United States.
yeah, but
Oh,
I mean,
fuck
it's
Chip
just
Roy.
he's like wringing his hands over voting for this bill, and blaming everybody else. But he voted for it. He's like, oh, you should all
fuck
vote for me.
you.
I
Like,
mean,
stop.
it's like, what the fuck, people? You don't get to be the
No.
the voice of reason when you went over the cliff with the rest of them. And it's gonna, the thing that's so cynical about the bill, of course, is that that most of the pain, a lot of it, will be felt in 3 years, right? When the traitor is
Right.
out of office by hook or by crook, and
Right. Right.
so they're going to, and yet again, just like they did in the caucus room conspiracy, hope that the American people are dumb enough to blame the Democrats for their problems when the Democrats are the only
Not
party
for
trying
this.
to, help them. I hope
No.
you're right. I hope that, but I know that
No,
there's a
there
lot
are.
of, yeah, there's a lot of stupids. But go ahead, go
Oh, there's a lot of stupid. There are people like I shared it. I forget who it was. It's on my Twitter, but that Republicans are saying this is all Republicans' fault. I think Rand Paul said it. You'll be able to blame. Yes, it was Rand Paul who said, Democrat, when this goes down, everyone will be able to blame Republicans. It's like
Mm,
this perfect campaign ad for the Democrats in 26. It really
right.
is. It's a perfect campaign ad, fully laying the blame for all of this at the feet of the Republicans by Rand Paul. This is a very ridiculous time, because aside from them
It
actively
really
trying to
is.
kill us, we find ourselves agreeing with people who are almost unilaterally terrible, right? Like a
Like
stopped
Musk.
clock, a broken clock is still right twice a day. So today we find ourselves looking at tweets from Elon Musk
Let's
threatening to
see.
expose even more about Donald Trump.
Oh, good. Well,
Even more.
hey.
He's like, I got more. Ah, not yet though. And I'm gonna say, drop it. Quit dangling and drop it. Drop everything that you know, because right now they are engaged in a Twitter fight. They're beefing. They're beefing on Twitter, which is like that's a start. But like Trump is threatening to take away government contracts. Musk is threatening to expose him more. I think Musk has the leverage here, obviously. And
Yeah,
the
they're
enemy of the
afraid of
enemy is
him
my friend.
too.
Elon Musk is no
Hmm.
friend of ours. He thinks
No.
he's going to start a new political party
Uh-huh.
here. He thinks he's going to do a lot of things. We have the screenshots from when he said what he said about the Epstein files and what he said about the election. And people are saying, hey, you know what? We'll drop the Tesla boycott if you tell us everything you know about Trump.
Yeah,
I
that'd
think
be
that's a fair
yeah,
trade. I'm willing. I
good
mean, it's easy
idea.
to boycott Tesla if you don't own one, right? And you're not going to ever buy one. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So and Trump was posting about. He's like, I was going to help him with the brakes on the EV, but now I'm not.
Uh,
I mean, maybe here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and say that they know how to hurt each other because they know where each other's
they're
weaknesses are, and they're
such
going to hit each other.
horrible.
It's all about money. They're
Uh-huh.
gonna do money. They're gonna start with money, and then it's gonna start getting a little bit more personal.
Well, listen to what he's
So,
saying. I
but
mean,
what's
electric car.
weird?
Yeah, but I mean, just the lie. Electric cars are fine. Just not everyone should be forced to buy one. That was not happening. I'm so sick of these fucking liars. I'm
Who
so
was
sick of them.
forcing anyone to buy an
Nobody.
EV?
That's what they constantly say. Oh, you shouldn't be forced to have an EV. Yeah, that's not being forced.
Oh
Getting a
well,
subsidy, a tax break is not being forced. Ask the oil company for fuck's sake. Ask Big
right?
Oil. Ask all your other,
Jesus.
ask Elon Musk, really, He should
Right?
know.
Right? I
Uh,
mean, what I want to know is like from this point on, what Musk would care about more, I think, would be holding on to his government contracts then preserving his friendship with this fuckface. So tell us what you know, and we won't boycott Tesla anymore, and maybe I'll stop calling you sissy SpaceX. I probably won't.
mm.
And just inside him somewhere is this dipshit child out for revenge. I say take it out on Trump. Take it out on him. He deserves it. And in this battle, like I'm gonna side with Elon because I'm gonna go ahead and say that he knows shit that could end Trump today. Today,
Right.
he probably could. So when you put up these statistics of how
Thumbs.
many people are gonna die,
They don't care.
Republicans don't care.
No.
They don't care. But
Doesn't.
we have so you what you do is you hone in on what do Republicans care about, and what they care about is money. So hit them where it hurts. You have to hit them where it's going to hurt them the most, and Elon Musk can do that. Cuz
Yeah.
he is saying that every single Republican who votes for this big bullshit bill, he will fund their opponent when they get primaried.
Oh, all
That's what
right.
that's what he said. There's a tweet about that too. That if you vote
All
for the
right.
big bullshit bill, basically you're dead to me, and I will make sure that you do not win when you run for reelection. I'm down with
These two
that.
dumb bastards.
Fucking do that. That's great. If that's how you want to spend your money, I'll encourage that. To keep Lisa Murkowski from getting reelected, yes,
Oh
please.
yeah.
To keep Mark Wayne
Scum.
Mullen from returning whenever his time is up. The Okie who thinks that it's fine. What that fucking coward. That first of all, his name is Mark Wayne. How am I supposed to take you seriously? Your name is
Yeah.
Mark Wayne, and you wear the world's biggest, stupidest cowboy hat because you're overcompensating for the fact that you're a spineless traitor who hid like a little bitch on January 6th. Have you seen the
Yep.
footage? There's a picture of
Mm-hmm.
him. He's like cowered over and hiding, and she's like, "Don't come in here. I'm scared." When he was talking all tough about
Yeah.
preventing the peaceful transfer of power. So these are all, and it's on they're not, there's no such thing as a brave Trump supporter. Not one of them. Not one of them has a spine. Not
No.
one of them has any kind of intestinal fortitude or the strength to stand upright.
Right.
And
No, they
I
don't.
I
Yeah. I
no, and
mean,
this is them saying what I want them to say. They're just not using the words I want them to use. But basically, this vote of any other vote says we have chosen loyalty to Donald Trump over the American people. Period. End. That's what they
mm-hmm.
have done. That's what they did. Now, I personally would be very gratified if any Democratic member of Congress, regardless of which side of the chamber they're on, Senate or House, make your Republican colleagues answer on the record, and you go when you have a full,
What are
the
they going
full
to
everybody's
answer,
there.
though? Like what? What's the question?
On the record, I am asking you to state on the record, are you loyal to Donald Trump or are you
Oh.
loyal to the United States of America and the constituents who elected you?
Oh, they'll just
And
say like what
and
Johnson says though. He's like, I'm an Article 1 guy all day, all night.
nope,
You ask my wife,
no,
you know.
I don't care what no, they don't get to sit back down until they answer the question. And then when they answer the question in that moment,
Yeah.
if they choose Trump, that is their resignation from Congress.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you don't serve the people who elected you. You're not doing your job.
Right.
If I stopped doing my job, I'd get fired.
Right, I know.
If I just,
No,
I know.
I agree. But the what you're saying is they can easily lie. Of course, I'm loyal to the Constitution.
Lying to Congress is a
they
federal
say.
offense.
Yeah, but it's all subjective then, because they can say, "Oh, this vote, like like the traitor says, is going to add jobs and all this." They're lying about it, of course. Yes,
That's not the question.
Yeah, but what's the question? I mean, the question should be. This is how I think they should phrase it. It's kind of the same question. It should be: is Donald Trump capable of making a mistake? That's what the question should be. Is he
Ooh, that's an
fallible?
interesting. I mean, yes, and I've heard other people
go ahead.
ask questions along those lines. Like, in fact, Democrats were asking that during Emil Bove's confirmation hearing. Is there a situation where Donald Trump would order you to break the law and you would refuse? And of course, he didn't answer that question directly.
Right, I saw that, and it's
right.
all chilling.
Yeah.
It's all just.
And so that's the answer. I mean, if you want to read between the lines and you want to, parse what you want from the answer is within the non-answer, and you can figure out the subtext for yourself if you'd like, because it's pretty blatant. But I'm just saying, and even if they don't follow through, I still want a Democrat to lead some sort of motion to do that. I'm bringing a motion to the floor where every single member of this body, Democrats and Republicans, make it for all of them then. Every single member of the body needs to state on the record, why are you here? Are you here because you're loyal to your constituents who elected you, or are you here because you're loyal to Donald Trump? And if you're loyal to Trump over this country, you're now fired. I mean, I obviously Johnson's not going to do that, and Thune isn't going to do that, but I want it on the record. I want some Democrat, Jasmine Crockett could do that. Elizabeth Warren could do that. I want it on the record. I want them held accountable where there is video of them saying, I choose loyalty to Donald Trump. And I happily renounce my seat so I can go out there and be part of his, faithful white Christian army. I don't know. And again, I don't begrudge anybody who wants to be in a cult. I don't. You want to be in a cult? You want to force children that give birth at the age of 12 and marry them off to old people and beat each other to death? I don't care. Go do it on an island in the middle of the Pacific where it has nothing to do with the American government. So our government's not supposed to take anything away from us. That's the bottom line. They're supposed to provide for the common defense and promote the general welfare.
They're not,
and they're not doing it.
Of course
they're not doing their jobs. They should lose their jobs for not doing their jobs.
Well, they would, of course, argue
that's just fact.
With all evidence to the contrary, that they are promoting the general welfare by, because, a lot of their, if you listen to some of their speeches, and the Chip Roy one in particular, they're living in fantasy land, of course, because they're like, they're talking about dynamic scoring, which...
that's next.
It's fantasy. It's like it's for the first time ever, tax cuts will pay for themselves. That's what they're factoring into their scoring of the bill. That when everything
is going to add trillions to the deficit.
When it all goes, fantasies and rainbows and all of the bullshit, the trickle down comes finally after begging for 50 years. The deregulation creates jobs like nobody's ever seen.
Nope.
And then it will, then it'll all be evened out. But they're, of course...
In 2 weeks.
Yes.
It's all going to happen in 2 weeks.
Yeah, yet again, they are doing, nothing will come to fruition. It will all factor out when history is written, when we are living in the consequences of this bill, of the actions, of the
That's
the
right.
cause and effect, we will be proven right yet again, proven correct, and
Yep.
the Republicans, like Trader Trump, added what did he eight trillion to the deficit the last time. This is going to add how much more? And
Disgusting.
yeah, and but they're in yet
And
again.
how many people will die?
Yeah, they're making
So
it
many people.
a
People are going to die.
uh-huh. But they don't. But hey, like what's her face said, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna
Joni
die.
Ernst. Back to Joni
Yeah,
Ernst. What a
we're
coos.
all gonna
You know,
die. Isn't
and
that
I
comforting?
would really like it if every single person who is currently joined us in the chat, and thank you so much, and thank you, Jim, for being the bestest moderator. Everybody in the chat, I encourage you to call Lisa Murkowski today and leave her a nice voicemail. Just,
Yes.
I am so and so from this state, and thanks to your vote, I'm going to lose this.
Oh yeah. Well,
Tell them. I know they
that's
don't care. The whole
yeah.
point is to flood them with this shit because it is somebody's job to sit there and listen to all of the messages. It's somebody's job to transcribe them. It's somebody's job to do that, and they all need to be flooded, and they all need to be told. And we're going to watch this dance go on because this bill is going to go back to the House. And so when it does, and if you were paying attention to the vote in the House, it only passed by one vote because it's egregiously unpopular. And the only reason it was only one, it would have passed by 2 votes, but the other MAGA guy who would have voted for it overslept and missed the vote. How reliable.
Ugh.
So maybe we'll get lucky next time. I don't know. But what I do know is that when something is that close, when it's that egregiously unpopular, there are ways to make sure that you, instead of getting it passed, you just like fuck with it over and over, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. And it could be that this bill never gets passed because they're going to keep taking out provisions and keep changing things. It could move from chamber to chamber for weeks, or they could drag this out for months as just another way to keep us twisting in the wind. We have no idea. I mean, when you have someone like a Thomas Massey who carries some weight with the MAGA people and the Freedom Caucus, if they're still calling themselves that, Marjorie Taylor Greene is mad at Daddy.
Right.
I think they could very easily kill it in the House, twisting with just a couple of votes. Just a couple of votes, they could.
I hope so. I
And
hope that's what happens.
you hope so. Well, you know what? And again, not a fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she sat there on the floor. She's like, I didn't read the whole bill, but then she held up this thing. She's like, I didn't realize it did this, and I don't like this. So, and she still hasn't gotten her pardon. So maybe she's feeling a little salty.
No, she's not.
And she's like, President Trump does everything right except this. I don't like this.
Well, that's why Trip Roy had to say that the president is being misled. It's not that he's a cynical dumbass who hates this country, especially his own voters, but convicted felon con man with a fake university, a multi-level marketing vitamin scam, and a history of sexual assault. He's not that. He's just being misled. No. And it's right out of the history of Western civilization, because that's what if any of the peons throughout the history of Western civilization, whenever they would rise up against their king, they wouldn't go against the king. They would go against his advisors, because you would never say that the king was wrong, because that's treason, and he's just getting wrong advice. So, and that's exactly what Chip Roy is saying. Because Donald Trump ever be wrong? Can he make a mistake? They need to ask that. I wonder.
Only if he's still alive.
Right.
So,
Donald Trump right about everything. They have that, they have that merch.
He's right about nothing. He is right about absolutely nothing. And I'm here to help. There you go. I just solved all your problems, Chip Roy. Why don't you reverse your vote now? Trump also doing he made them work through the weekend while he was golfing because he's a lazy sack of shit. And instead of he didn't show up at the Hortman's funeral because he's a piece of shit. He couldn't
He's
even be bothered to call Tim Walz. Couldn't pick up the
no,
phone
he's
because
not
he's an
human.
ingrate.
And
But
the
it's
people,
very
yeah,
important
yeah.
that yeah, it's very important
Sorry.
that he released a Trump cologne and companion perfume today, though. Advertising new Trump cologne and perfume smells like ass. Should be the motto. Should be
No,
the
no,
tagline.
really?
It smells like Big Mac burps and his diaper is what the cologne
No,
smells
this
like. Is
can't be.
my no, it's real. It's 100% real. You
What
think I
the
could make that
fuck?
up? I mean, I could, but it's real. I don't have to make it up. It's the
I
next
know.
logical step after the
No, I'm
Trump
not surprised. Yeah.
watch. That was $100,000. I don't know how much he's charging for the cologne, but it's made from liberal tears.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh,
goodness.
fuck that.
No, I just said that. No, it isn't.
No, I know.
But anyway.
I know. I'm not surprised if he would
It's
say
just like
that
everyone's
anyway.
like, "What do you think it smells like?" Clearly, it smells like ass. What else? What? It smells like the
Holy
buffet line at
shit.
Mar-a-Lago. It smells like plastic surgery and failure. It smells like the Lolita Express carpet on the walls. I don't
Smells
know.
like a
But it
con man's
smells like a nice.
desperation. Really?
It smells like the golden toilet he will be found dead on one day.
I'm trying to find it.
It is the eau de toilette of
Oh
Trump
my
is what it
God.
should be called. That's what we should call it.
It smells like a
It's the
gaping
Trump
black hole
it,
of need and greed. That's what it smells like. Because that's
it
where
smells
that's his
like
personality. That's where his personality
that's right.
should be.
It smells like the worst bathroom at Grand Central Station. That's what it smells like.
No.
Or I should say the Port Authority, because the Port Authority is worse than Grand Central.
Oh yeah.
But it's all part of the grift. And you know what? I bet I bet it's made so cheaply, like a Cody Wild Musk or something shitty you would buy, like or one of those like imitation perfume sprays that it probably smells like the bathroom after you've sprayed the bathroom, but you can still smell the shit under the spray. Like that old lady cloying. It's just you and like a there it is. Victory 45-47. What the fuck?
God,
And it looks like a little Oscar statue. Trump fragrances are here. You can smell like his fragrant
Oh, look at him.
septic tank.
I mean, he's very
Look how
svelte
virile.
now.
He's very virile. Look at him. 6'3",
Winning, success.
195. Yeah, virile. Hung
For
like a
men and
horse.
women.
Power.
Oh.
It'll
Enjoy,
make you a man.
have fun, keep winning,
And keep
oh,
winning.
God. Please, where are you,
I-
aliens? Can you please come and
I don't know.
take
I'm
this shit
ready.
back over?
I'm so. I'm literally ready for that because like what else? No one else is coming to save us. So there's no Deus ex machina coming to save us from Deus de Magna here. So
Right.
I don't.
Yes, yeah.
Except maybe Elon.
Oh,
Isn't it
Jesus.
awful to think
Yeah.
that? Isn't it awful to think that one of our few remaining hopes is Elon Musk exposing him? I don't know what it would do, honestly.
Well, it would
But I mean,
give
it
some
could
of the
certainly help a
pause.
Trump Crimes
Yeah.
Commission. Do you
Right.
think? Do you think though? I mean, he tweeted about the Epstein files and he tweeted about the election, and people dragged him for it instead of dragging Trump for it.
Well, they were more
So-
like afraid to. They didn't want to see their daddies fight. Oh, this is terrible. You know, I want us all to be back together, family. And
No,
all
I'm
that.
good.
Wah,
And
don't fight
that's
my daddy
when-
and daddy.
Right. When and then the unelected South African parasite said that he regretted some things that he said, but Traitor Trump wasn't going to give him any leeway, of course.
No. No.
He said
And
that
Trump doesn't
I don't know, he
regret.
started. Yeah, no, he was saying that wouldn't it be interesting if Doge turned on Elon Musk or something like that? And yeah, I'm happy about it. So it looks like Elon Musk he kind of got the message that he's not, there is no reconciling with that
Nope.
baboon. So, what else does he have to lose? He's
Oh, it's only
created-
going to get
yeah.
worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, good. Maybe we'll be the beneficiaries of their bromance breaking up because we don't need a broligarchy in this country.
Right.
We don't need a king. We don't need a dictator. And we don't accept that. And I still say that there are more of us than them. And so far, I have not heard about any mass protests happening for July 4th. I've heard people saying that you stay home, don't celebrate. We have nothing to celebrate. Don't exalt the country. Don't stand up. I would say do the opposite. I would say get out there and be proud of being an American and be proud that no one is going to take the flag from you and no one is going to take your country from you, because Republicans don't have the trademark on the flag or the word patriotism. It belongs to us, all of us, every single one of us. And like last summer when I was at the DNC, that was the defining message. And I actually tweeted, there's a side by side. They're at the RNC holding up signs saying mass deportation now. We're at the DNC holding up signs saying USA, USA, USA. And so that tapped into a patriotism I didn't know I had when I was at the DNC. Every single night, it was like a rock concert for democracy. And it was a rock concert to remind us that being a patriot is not a bad word. It's not a bad word to say patriot. They have co-opted some words to make them seem bad, and they've co-opted the flag to make it seem like it's almost a warning rather than something to be proud of.
No, it's a cudgel to beat people
right?
with. It's not a unifying message.
And so we have to reclaim that. We reclaim that by showing up to reclaim it. And I'm not seeing any organized mass protests for the 4th. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, don't go out to your cookouts, don't set off fireworks, don't wave your flags. And I don't agree with that. I'm not really sure what kind of shape I'm personally going to be in post getting a tooth yanked from my head. I feel like by Thursday I should be okay.
No, you'll be fine. It's
to come
not
back
that big a
here.
deal.
By Thursday when we have the next Tara show, I hopefully won't have a big swollen face. Oh, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. But like, I don't know what to do with myself on Friday, because there's not a mass protest so far planned for Portland. And I feel like if I stood out on a street corner with my USA sign, with a sign saying MAGA doesn't own the USA, like maybe people would stand with me. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. But I'm not going to ever deny my Americanness. I was born in America. I was raised in America. I have always lived in America. They are not taking away my citizenship. They're not taking away your citizenship. This birthright citizenship thing is the scariest among a lot of scary things. You can't, like, if they're going to say that people born here weren't born here and can be sent away, why would anyone tolerate that? Why would a MAGA person tolerate that? Because it could happen to them as easily as it could happen to me or you.
Yeah.
It has happened to MAGA people. There's some white MAGA dude who's originally from like Sweden, who lived in Louisiana, who got deported.
I know, but and Republicans in this bill, the Democrats offered an amendment saying that no American citizens can be deported to a foreign country, and the Republicans would not go for it. So
it's fucking evil. They're super excited about the alligator Auschwitz in Florida now, though, aren't they?
Yeah, well, that's them. They are the domestic enemies the founders warned us about. I've been talking about this for years, and Jim on the chat knows this because he's the moderator at my show as well. And if you can, go over there and subscribe and like and all that, too, because we do our show on Friday. Well, there will be a show this Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And so if you feel like you don't want to go to a barbecue, come hang out with us. But
that makes sense.
Yeah. And so one of the things I've been talking about for years, and I've been saying it for years and hoping that the Democrats will follow suit, that, that liberals are the real patriots. We are the patriots. They love the substance. I mean, they love the symbols of patriotism. They love to wave the flag. They love the stars. They love the branding, the eagle. They love these colors don't run, all this bullshit, right?
Whatever.
And but the substance is very beyond them. It's over their heads, and that's why they hate America. They are trying to destroy everything that America is about, and that's why you're saying I'm an American and all this. What does that mean? To Republicans, it means you're just waving a flag in somebody's face to irritate them. What I mean, it certainly means it certainly doesn't mean caring about your fellow Americans, because these are people that like drinking our tears. Yeah, and I hope that the Democrats, and this is what gets me crazy, when they go on about, oh, they want to own the libs and drink our tears, drinking liberal tears and all this shit. The Democrats have to turn this around. No one wants to drink conservative tears. We're trying to make sure they don't die needlessly without health care. And they're trying to drink our tears. Only America's enemies
dumbest shit.
Want to drink the tears of Americans. And they talk about leaving no one behind. They leave everybody behind all the time, as this bill is another testament to. They will leave you behind. They will step over you. They will spit on you. The Republicans don't give a shit about the working class of this country. They have us divided because of the corporate media. You know, now we have silos of information, and which drives me crazy. Then that the corporate media is constantly, they will opine and ponder, why are we so divided? Can't we just talk and get together and understand our...
Can't we all get along?
Yeah, it's like, can't we just get together and listen respectfully to each other? Sure.
We used to pre-Trump.
Yes, if you, well, not really too, but I mean, not just Trump just put the gasoline, he put the spark to the flame. It was always there for years. He's just a symptom, really.
But we still had respectful political discourse, even though there were
to a degree,
and there was a way that they behaved in public that was at least
they were standards
aligned with their station in life, right? There were standards. Yes,
that's right.
But those are all gone now.
Oh, exactly. So, but the Republicans. I got to take this call. I got a call coming in. Hold on.
All right, listen, and also, okay, and I have to go in 5 minutes.
All right.
You take the call. I will talk for 4 minutes, and you will come back. Okay. So everybody, if you don't know, Devlin has another job, and so she has to caretake that. And I would also like to thank you, Bald Thanos, for the $5 towards the dental care. Ooh, we can listen to. Hey, Tara, we can hear your call. Anyway, so here's what's happening to me today. I have a tooth that needs to be pulled out of my head, and I'm going to be leaving very shortly, because what I have to do is drive to where my son lives, and then I have to take 2 Valium because they don't do nitrous at this dentist's office, which is terrifying to me. So I'm going to take the 2 Valium, and then my older son, who is my emergency contact, is going to drive me to the dentist. And hopefully I'll be within my faculties, and they'll be able to put me in a chair and take care of all of the things. But it's not a cheap endeavor on the same day where I have to pay my rent. So if you are willing, like Bald Thanos, to kick down $5 to my Venmo or $3, I don't care. You like between 1 and 5. If you're able to do that, that would help out a lot, because also I have the rent, and it's just, it's not the easiest thing in the world to be a freelancer, as Devlin can tell. I know, fucking day, right? Is this how you want to start a new month? No. But I got to peace out.
All right,
so
you got to go. Thank you for...
I got to go because it's going to take me a bit to get to the kid's house, and then I got to take my drugs. I have to take Valium, and I have to do all of this. And so what I'm hoping is, like, tomorrow I'll probably be a little out of commission and recovering, and then by Thursday I should be able to come back here and hang out. But I will let you know in plenty of time if I can't.
You never had a tooth pulled, I'm telling you, it's really not
I've never had a tooth pulled. I've never had a tooth pulled, but I've also never had a serious dental issue where they didn't, because they also have to fill a cavity. I've never had any dental work done without nitrous first, but this is different because I'll have Valium, which replaces nitrous as far as knocking me out, in theory. Plus, they have a nice flat screen TV on the ceiling, and I told them they need to put on Shark Whisperer for me, so I just look at ocean and great white sharks, and that'll make me very happy. So,
but
thank you, everybody. By the way,
hold on a second.
Yes,
hold on.
What?
Bald Thanos says he sent
I did.
Super chat. Okay.
I thanked him. I thanked him while you were on the phone.
Oh, all right.
You just couldn't.
Unbelievable. What a day.
I'm very grateful for everybody who participates in democracy. Thank you. I appreciate you. Please buy my book, The Sound of Settling, a rock and roll love story, available now at TaraDublinRocks.com. By the way, quick, as I walk out, 3,300 pages of my book were read in the last 8 days, which means, or last 7 days, which means that 8.25 people read it, or someone read it 8.25 times. In any case, I'm very grateful for anybody who reads my book. And I will
Nice.
also, yeah, I'm very grateful for everybody who participates in democracy, watches our show. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Devlin. I will
Thank
see you
you.
all hopefully on
Feel
Thursday.
better.
I'll be down a tooth, but I'll still be fighting for our democracy.
You'll be better.
Bye.
Ready to roll. All right. Here we go. Let's go. Where's me? Don't worry. Hang on. I'm back. All right, guys. Hey, it's me. Guys, it's going to be a Tara Buster. Listen, if you haven't subscribed to Tara Buster yet, my show on Friday nights that Jim is the moderator of, he's really the co-star of the show. And let's see, I put the link in the description. I just want to, a lot of shit's been going on. I've been up and down, as you can see, trying to grab phone calls that are coming in and about another whole other thing. I don't even want to get into it. But check out the link in the chat. Go over there. Because this is what's going on right now. I do some clips, not me, someone else does them and posts them, of the show Tara Buster that I've been doing for a few years. And it's very fascinating to me. So one of the clips was about Trump's approval rating. And we went over this a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure Jim remembers because he was participating in that show as well. And if you go over to Trader Trump's Truth Social, he is very keen on having everyone believe how loved he is and how approved of he is, as we all know, that he's because this is a fundamentally damaged person inside. That's the point of him. That's why he's constantly bloviating and lying about how great he is, because deep down inside he knows he's a fraud. He knows he's in over his head. And he has to get everybody, look over here, this approval rating is 56%. So we went through this on the show, and I was like, 56%? This seems a little bit out of bounds. And of course, it was a Rasmussen poll, which is notorious for skewing right, in the very least, right? And we went through all these other polls that are called the gold standard of polling and whatnot. Now Rasmussen gets a mostly true rating. Okay, I don't know. I guess that's how we've come to hate ourselves in this country, where we accept mostly true as truth now. But it also has a qualifier when I looked it up from other polling, or what do you call it, when from the fact checkers, that it says that, yes, it's notoriously skews right, and especially it will get it'll be fairer on issues that are not political. So that's what skews their rating to a mostly true. But when it comes to Republican issues, they will really work overtime to fix the facts around the policy, to give the Republicans their propaganda talking points. And so we went through all the different polls on the show a couple weeks ago. And so I guess Hernan, who does videos for my channel and also the Mike Malloy show, he posted one of these videos that had something to do with a poll. So all that to say that over there now is my channel on that particular video is getting inundated by maggots who, and in some ways I consider myself like a Jane Goodall who studied I studied Trumpanzees like Jane Goodall studied the apes, right? And it's fascinating to me how much they are aboard this whole Trump is the best. Everybody just doesn't see it. Everybody likes him. You're just delusional. You're and every other name in the book, right? You're, of course, a lot of them, they're like, you're not a woman. You're this. You're that. MAGA, right? It's insanity. And that's what makes me wonder, what the fuck? What are we dealing with these people? And is there anything that can actually get through to them? They are so invested with an alternate reality, right? They they need to have their alternate reality validated. Yeah, I mean, I guess, maybe then I have to look at myself. Do I do that? But I'm not opposed to learning new information and changing my opinion when new things come in. My ultimate goal as any patriot, I would imagine, is to make the world, or the country at least, better than we found it, right? You don't want to leave. How would you want to leave the planet with more people suffering, more people in poverty, more needless death? And, when Dublin was talking about, I'm an American and all this, the way I look at it is, am I proud to be an American? Not at the moment, I got to tell you. The Republicans, I'm not proud of my fellow Americans. It's disgusting that we have to endure people like that. They are abusive too. So if you go, I'm going to just post, if you can go over there. I've been deleting, or really blocking the people, because I don't take, I'm not like Dublin. She likes to get into it with the maggots for some reason. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to feed the trolls, but I also don't want them inundating my channel. We also have, and as Jim knows, we have a zero tolerance for trolls on the channel, because they have plenty of places to go jerk each other off, and to praise the dear leader. If they want to hang out, they're certainly welcome to it. And we just haven't found. There was one guy that used to come who was a Republican, and he was halfway normal. But what I found is that it doesn't take but a minute for them to devolve into maggot name call. Oh, maggot, is that a woman or whatever bullshit, old lady, all the pejoratives, right? Luck Dragon says, "You're more than a woman to me." Exactly. And, I know there's a lot of trolls in the House Sparks chat. That's true. I guess he doesn't. I'm just putting a link in the chat of that particular video. But it's, to me, when I look at these maggots, the way that so let's see. One of them says, so literally you saw a poll saying 54% approval, and you're actually wondering where it comes from. The 54% is what we were talking about was another. So Trader Trump said his approval was 56%. It is not even close. And there was another poll on the list that we were aggregating all of the other polls together, getting the average of polls. And when you got the average of polls, it was that Trump's approval rating is, if you want to be generous, it's 46% approval. It's from 41 to 46% and over 56 disapproval. And whatever. It doesn't, see, the most of the American people, well, not most, I don't know. It's half. We're all listening to our silos of information. This is the problem. And when the pundits on the corporate media say that, can't we just get along? I think, if we had the same set of facts. We can have different opinions, of course, but we can't have different sets of facts. And that's what we're dealing with. They just simply will not, come to the table on reality. And we know this. They create their own reality. And this is what we were warned about during the George W. Bush era, when there was that famous interview, and there was an article written in the New York Times where one of George W. Bush's insiders said, well, that's the problem with you Democrats. You're busy debating, and we're just moving on, creating our own reality. We create reality. And it's alternative facts. So We will never win the country if we allow the alternative facts to have any credence. There's no, and it's not about just sitting in a room with a maggot and having a nice conversation with them, because they will not accept the reality. And in this, so in the video, in the short, we went through all the polls, and and like I said, it was okay. That's one poll that Trump pulled out of his ass, and all of the maggots swooped in like the flying monkeys to make sure that the dear leader is somehow salved. His fragile eggshell ego is will never hear any negativity. It's amazing to me. But so they're not interested in reality, but which is why the Democrats, in fact, need to listen to this show. That's for sure. They need to take our talking points, and this is part of the problem where the Republicans have certainly mastered the messaging game, because that's all they have. What are they gonna boast about in reality? They can't say that this. I mean, even calling the thing a big beautiful bill is an example of how they have mastered the messaging game. There's nothing beautiful about murdering your fellow Americans needlessly because the rich need another tax break that they will never spend, that will only increase income disparity, upward immobility. And that's what Traitor Trump did last time he was in office. He took a country, when he was handed the country, it was, the economy was doing better, yeah. But, we still had the widest income gap in the industrialized world, or in the modern democratic world. We used to be the slightest. We are now the widest. We went from the most to the least upwardly mobile. All of these are signs of, they're not signs of success. And the way that they have us so, we're really divided because of the media, that's for sure, because of the silos of information. But they need us that way so we don't figure out what's really going on. Vote for you. To vote for your own demise. How much do you have to hate yourself to consistently vote for your own demise? To vote to cut your own health care, to cut your mama's health care, to cut your students. I mean, I'm looking at Thanos student loans I have right now are $0 a month, but under the Senate big beautiful scumbag, I will have to pay $10 a month. And is that $10? It is what it is. But a lot of people have a lot more hanging over their head. You're saying that, oh, boo-hoo, everybody has to see. If I'm not sure where bald Thanos is coming from there, but I would assume that, it's, the fact is many other countries send kids to, or not just kids, but young people, investing in young people without them coming out of these higher education systems as indentured servants to banks. There's no reason that this has to happen. So Jeff Bezos can go bang his bitch in fucking Vienna, wherever the fuck they were. Excuse my language. I know. Oh my God, I'm so. It's a little salty around here, and I'm used to, being a solo act at 10 o'clock at night. Sorry out there, but it's just the problem is that how do you reach the American maggot? I'm not Tom Hartman. I'm not somebody. I don't really have that kind of patience for them. And I have a friend who is, and I've talked about him a lot on the show. He's gay, and he never went to college and whatnot. But so, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that he does. There's something to going to get a degree. You read books you might not have read, or you learn things you may not have necessarily have wanted to on your own volition. And it does open up your mind a bit more. And all he does is he listens to right-wing radio. And so I know what, and I know, I'm sure you guys know, thought. But we're the real patriots, and this is what I want people to take away: that liberals created America while while the conservatives were begging the king to trickle on them. All right? There's nothing more progressive than overthrowing a king in an aristocracy that ruled Western civilization for thousands of years. That's not a conservative initiative. That is progressive. There's nothing more progressive than overthrowing a king in an aristocracy and creating a government inspired by the liberal age of enlightenment, that we can rule each other. And as far as America on July 4th, I will celebrate the promise of America, because there's no other founding document like it. In all its hypocrisies and flaws, we have a solid progressive blueprint from which to build upon, and that's our charge, because they have set us back. They have done a lot of damage, and there is more damage yet to come. How much longer are we going to take it? I just wonder, I have to ask, how much longer? We stick together, we win. We will win, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out with myself and Tara Dublin. Hope her tooth thingy dingy goes good. And yeah, become a patron, patreon.com/Tara Devlin. I'm just keeping, I'm looking at the chat. And so don't forget, come back on Thursday at 2 p.m. We'll see where this ride takes us. Son of a bitch. And I have more to talk about. I wish we did have another hour here, but I would actually stay on and do some more. Because what were they going to do? What are they going to do? Kick me off? I just got, as you can tell, it's been a crazy day here in Tara Buster Studios, in Tara Show Studios. All right, guys. I will see you on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern with myself and Tara Dublin. Stay safe. Don't despair. Get active. That is the remedy for despair is action. I'll see you on Thursday.